sampaikan tiga jam Ni kau together kan?
Yeah, I think start already. Can you see mine?
Yours is what? What? Booking ah?
No, it's Jalan Besar.
Jalan Besar. Oh.
Is it started?
Light box. Light apa ni? Number 6.
Yeah, it started. Tahan. Stop ah.
Okay.
Take the mic.
Okay, about 50-30 minutes, I will have to go. Is that okay?
Hi, good evening to you all. This is Happy TV reporting from the Workers' Party rally at Jalan Besar. This is the field in front of Block 4 at Png Eng Road. The crowd seemed a little smaller than the Workers' Party rally yesterday at Hougang, but the mood is still quite cheerful. Many members of the public came prepared with ground sheets, food and umbrellas. We will be providing live coverage of this rally, so stay tuned with us.
啊，那边我们进来那边的。
You can hear some clapping. Seems that more Workers' Party candidates have arrived at the rally site. Workers' Party candidate Chen Xiaomao has arrived at the rally. Workers' Party candidates now are walking up the stage.
今天我们的这个群众大会，我的名字是陈立峰，我是凤山单选区的候选人。My name is Terence Tan, and I am the Workers' Party candidate for Foshan SMC. Today I'm your MC for the rally. 还没有开始以前要做一点推销啊！这次我们的群众大会前面那边有2个摊子卖我们的工人党的一些产品。OK， 这次除了雨伞以外，我们有一个新的手提电动风伞小型的，有这个 LED light 的啦OK，a bit of sales speech here. You know, we always have our Workers' Party products that we sell at the stores right at the back. And besides the familiar umbrellas and flags, we have a new product this year, and it's the handheld LED electric fan, okay, with different words, the Workers' Party. Empower your future. So when you have time later on, before you go home, please proceed to the back and purchase one for yourself and for your family. Thank you. OK， 今天我们不来讲凤山我们今天在JALAN BESAR。JALAN BESAR 的选民，你们好吗？后港的选民，你们好吗？玉林的选民，你们好吗？东海岸的选民，你们好吗？我们讲得不好。的选民，你们也好吗？泰国山的选民，你们也好吗？义顺的选民，你们好吗？好，好的。凤山的选民，你们好吗？我们家不好。Okay, Sister Nacha, thank you very much for your enthusiastic response. Today we'll kick off our rally with our new candidate for Nisun. His name is Mr. Ron Tan. 我们今天要开场的是我们区候选人沈巨源先生，有请陈先生。
Dear fellow Singaporeans and supporters of Workers' Party, good evening. My name is Ron Tan Jun Yen, and I am a candidate for Nisun GRC. 大家晚上好，我叫陈俊元，是义顺局选区的候选人。晚上好。It was during my time volunteering in the ground as a case writer at the MPS with Mr. Png Eng Huat in Hougang that when I experienced the despair and frustration of families affected by certain policies, I empathized with their situations and I felt that I should be doing more to assist them, to seek equality and a fairer system for affected families. I believe that no family or child should be disadvantaged by their background, and that family is one of the foundations of our country. Singaporeans are rightly proud of our country's achievements. We are world beaters in many areas. Changi is the #1 airport in the world. Our port is one of the world's busiest and best. The World Bank has ranked our country #1 for ease of doing business several years in a row. But there is one area which we should not be too proud of. The Straits Times reported earlier this year that Singaporeans continue to suffer the longest working hours in the world. Is that correct? In 2014, we averaged nearly 2,400 hours of work a year. Singapore has held this unfortunate distinction for some time now. Our working hours are nearly 30% more than in Japan and 50% more than Switzerland. So, we must ask Mr. Goh, where is our Swiss standard of living? Yet, for all that hard work, we are constantly told that we are not hungry enough, not anxious enough, not productive enough. We are told to work better, work faster, and deliver results. We are told, as usual, to prioritize growth. Otherwise, life will not get any better. We were recently urged, if you do not grow, there is no way to make ourselves better. But how much is enough? 2,400 hours a year means that Singaporeans are working more than 9 hours every day, assuming no public holidays, and you don't take one single day off. How is life going to get better if you're working 10 hours, 11 hours, or even 12 hours a day? The problem with prioritizing growth above everything else is that the important things in life, things not included in the measurement of the GDP, such as time spent with families, time spent with our kids, time spent on hobbies, on forging bonds within our communities. The very things that make life worth living are neglected. Economists have argued that growth and increases in income have stopped contributing much to well-being in rich countries. Instead, the quality of growth has fallen as inequality has increased, leading to social and health problems, from weakening community bonds to poorer mental health. This is why the Workers' Party is calling for greater efforts to achieve a balanced family life. We believe that a fulfilling family life is not only vital for the well-being of individual Singaporeans, but ultimately contributes to stronger families and communities. A holistic, long-term approach, rather than the narrow, short-term fixes suggested by our government, is needed. The Workers' Party believes in improving the quality of life for individuals and families. This will involve not only enhancing work-life harmony, but strengthening the financial security of our households. Currently, the balance is tilted towards working to ensure financial security for the family, but at what cost? The quality of family life suffers. Things need to change. The Economist magazine argued recently that evidence from different countries shows that making it easier to combine work and parenting is the most sensible strategy for encouraging families. To this end, it is important that Singaporeans are empowered to work with their employers to achieve work-life harmony without compromising their financial security. So what do we call for? We call for fair regulation of mandatory flexi work arrangements. We call for employees who work for a company with more than 20 employees for more than 6 months should be allowed to make requests for flexible working arrangements. We call for paid childcare leave to be extended from the current 6 days to 12 days for parents of children 12 years old and under, regardless of marital status. Of course, this does not mean you anyhow take leave. For the extra 6 days, you must produce your child's medical certificate as proof to your employer. We also call for and propose that more childcare and infant care centres should be built to make it easier for parents to get the best support possible for caring for their children. At the same time, we need to ensure a positive environment is provided for family life in Singapore. No family or child should be disadvantaged by socio-economic background. We propose funds to be allocated to the Child Development Account, the CDA, of all parents automatically, and the amount to be standardized to $10,000 each for each child, instead of the current dollar-for-dollar matching practice. Children from families that are less well off should not be penalized because their parents do not have as much to set aside for them in the CDA. We call for progressive tax credits and reliefs for low to middle income parents of young children up to 18 years old. We reiterate our call to grant single unwed mothers the full 16 weeks of paid maternity leave. In addition, single mothers should be made eligible for both the working mother's child relief as well as the foreign maid levy relief. The same help should be extended to single fathers. Excluding single parents from these schemes unnecessarily penalizes vulnerable children and parents. Being a single parent is not easy, especially if you are a single mother in Singapore, where the policies insist on stigmatizing you. My fellow Singaporeans, we are an overworked people. Is this the direction that we want for our country? No. We can do so much more to support our families and empower our children. Let us work towards a better future together. Our future, our children's future. Let us be empowered towards our shared future. Come polling day, you have the power to send a clear message to the ruling party. Vote so your children will have a voice. Empower your future. Vote Workers' Party. 掌握民权，把握未来。
Thank you, Ron. 谢谢陈先生。我们下一位也是姓陈的，是我们的共产党的律师陈立正先生。The next speaker will be Terence Tan. Please welcome Mr. Tan.
大家好，浩博，蒋范伟。My fellow Singaporeans, a very good evening to you all. Thank you for making your way from all over the island, this island that we all love and cherish so much, to be here tonight. We are humbled and grateful. All of you are a source of strength. You are the reasons why we have cast away our fears and have stepped up to offer ourselves as Workers' Party candidates in this general election. Is our fear misplaced? You may recall that Mr. Lee Hsien Loong, the Secretary General of the PAP, had previously said that if there were 10, 15 or 20 opposition MPs in Parliament, he would have to spend all of his time to fix the opposition and to buy his supporters' votes. Never mind that. The Workers' Party is committed to seeing through positive, meaningful, and long overdue changes to the way that the PAP currently treats you. We want to see a more inclusive, cohesive, dynamic, compassionate, and optimistic society. We do not believe that short-term economic gain for Singapore's economy should ever take precedence over the medium and long-term social and economic well-being of Singaporeans, or risk our social fabric. Economic growth, of course, is vital, but hard-working Singaporeans must benefit equitably and share in the rewards and the security that comes from our collective toil. All of us should move forward together as a strong Singaporean core, leaving no one behind without having to guard our lunch from people who can be imported in to do things cheaper, faster, better, or whatever else. If we are qualified and able and want to do these jobs, as our Faisal bin Abdul Manap said last night, our pain is your gain. My name is Terence Tan. 我叫陈立正。我做律师 I work as a lawyer. I'm one of the 5 Workers' Party candidates for Marine Parade GRC. My running mates are our team leader Lee Hsien Loong, together with Fairoz, Dylan Eng, and Png Eng Huat. I'm also a resident in Png. I'm very proud to be running in the constituency where I live. I joined the Workers' Party at the end of 2011 as a volunteer helping Faisal in Kaki Bukit, Aljunied at his MPS and with grassroots activities. I witnessed true servant leadership as a volunteer with the Workers' Party. I've seen the party's genuine commitment to serve Singaporeans and to attempt to better Singaporeans' lives. I've seen WP MPs roll up their shirt sleeves, working together with the volunteers to benefit Singaporeans and residents living in Aljunied, in Hougang, in Punggol East. I applied for membership 6 months after I started volunteering. I was happy to play a small part, assisting in the Workers' Party campaigns for both Hougang as well as the Punggol East by-elections in 2012 and 2013, and I was very happy to see Png Eng Huat and Li Lian elected as members of Parliament. In this general election series of WP rallies, you will hear all of our reasons for making our individual decisions to join the WP and what has motivated all of us to stand in this general election. So, why have I stepped up in this general election? In 2011, Mr. Tharman Shanmugaratnam had said that a strong opposition would be beneficial for Singapore. However, Mr. Teo Chee Hean has very recently said that no opposition is necessary. Emeritus Senior Minister Goh Chok Tong has also very recently said that checks and balances are a seductive lie. The PAP say they can check themselves. As Pritam said last night, own self check, own self. It seems to be the PAP's view that Singaporeans should be grateful in having today's PAP govern. We obviously complain too much, we're just noise. ESM Goh Chok Tong says we are arrogant in contesting Marine Parade. ESM Goh says that if voters do not give the PAP a strong mandate, you are rejecting their existing policies. The PAP have repeatedly implied that only the PAP has the necessary integrity, honesty, and ability to be in Parliament. Mr. Lee Hsien Loong said that his team are a natural aristocracy, and that Singaporeans are in good hands and should leave it to the PAP to best manage our country. The PAP have also said that they have delivered on housing, on transport, on healthcare, on retirement inadequacy, and on many other things. Singaporeans should be more than satisfied with this perfect PAP engineered island. What do you think? Do you mind that Singaporeans already work amongst the longest hours in the world? Do you mind that housing loans for HDB flat can span 30 years and triple the amounts in your CPF? You happy to see your statement or not? Do you mind that many Singaporeans do not have the minimum sum, which is currently $161,000, which you must leave in your CPF no matter what? No worries if you can't make it, the PAP say. You can always pledge your home, Do you mind that the income inequality in Singapore is amongst the highest in the developed world? Our wages haven't kept up with inflation. That Singapore, apparently only for expats, is the most expensive city in the world to live in. You know, some Singaporeans work 12 hours a day, sometimes more. They still can't make ends meet. Many homes that I've been, as I do my house visits, have red paint splashed on their doorsteps. We have amongst the lowest total fertility rates in the world. This is notwithstanding surveys, as pointed out by Daniel yesterday, survey after survey saying that young Singaporeans want to have children. You have to ask yourself, what's stopping them? Do you mind living longer? We should be thankful, the PAP say. Active aging, they say. Some even actively age, apparently, by exercising with cardboard. We should thus have faith in the PAP, they say. Be optimistic. Don't be distracted, said ESM Goh. And he said, don't chase after bits of meat thrown by the opposition. He said it's very important that a clear signal be sent to the ruling party that voters like what the PAP are doing. Well, all of you decide. You can give the PAP a blank check, or you can choose not to put all of your eggs in one basket. Consider giving the Workers' Party your vote. I know that we can't give out carrots. As nomads, right, you know, we've used them to feed our horses as we gallop across the vast plains of Central Asia, Central Singapore. Sorry, Hawk, but we have something that you might wish to chew on. My colleagues and I will be explaining the meat of many proposals contained in the WP's 2015 manifesto in the coming days. The PAP will likely say that our proposals are populist, that the WP manifesto contains balanced, sound, reasonable, sensible, and readily implementable proposals that benefit Singaporeans and Singapore in the medium-long term. We hope to be able to strongly persuade the PAP in Parliament to adopt and implement at least some of them. Vote for the Workers' Party. 支持工人党. Trust your support as we try to keep the PAP as honest as it keeps us and honor your future.
This is Happy TV again. We're currently at the Workers' Party rally at Jalan BESAR. Two candidates have already spoken. They are Ron Tan from Nisun GRC and Terence Tan from Marine Parade GRC.
The next speaker will be our candidate from Nisun GRC, Mr. Fu Sek Guan Kenneth.
Dear Singaporeans and supporters of the Workers' Party, good evening! 各位新加坡的同胞们和工人党的支持者，大家晚上好。I will be speaking in Hokkien. English. 大家好。对唔住，我福建话唔是讲得真好，所以也是讲得唔好，请大家见谅。我的名是傅七管，你也是会使叫我阿管。我6岁起就徛到后港，一徛就是30几年。阿姨就好。Thank you。细汉时厝内无啥物钱，老爸是做杂工的，我老母就伫厝内顾家。有一段时期，老爸搁就做2份工。早起是做杂工，暗暝做 security guard 来饲鸡。因为无钱的关系，大学的时候来半工半读来完成。大家，我甲你人讲，我甲你人相像是一个普通的新加坡人。我会了解大家的生活。过去几十年，新加坡的物件是越来越贵。电费、物价、厝价，是不是起价之上？是我问的，你会讲你有起价之上无？我昨日拄到一个居民，我甲伊讲完话后，我落楼骹，伊走落来，伊问我：阿弟啊，我问了，你这油价起的时候，我咱的车税也起。啊！这油价从哪里来？你那个车税无落咧？后白上面给我加起了。我本身觉得，因为政府公布唔了解我们人民的痛苦。对不？为了这，我让以这个总理啊，合作党先生，要退票啊！介绍你马里巴列的候选人的小党。我免反对党来请 BAP 啊 ，BAP 你会使家己 check 家己啊，你家己才有可能无？对，这是无可能的代志。BAP 啊，伊 伊就那是只戆戆无离婚大的啊！伊的当时林律师介绍东海岸的团队时候啊，讲着第一届，伊人的票率900,000，我人只伊人只会知咱做了袂够，无解咱的居民交通，所以伊人只有更加努力解咱的居民交通。各位，我甲你讲，这就证明了这个政府啊是无当过起啊！第一届，新加坡人将7位反对党的这议员上一个国会，这政府才改变咱的政策，来帮助我咱的人民。BAP 真好练，真路来都做甲真好。是讲啊，是无咧咱的牺牲，伊人做会着无？做袂着。我讲啊，有功劳的，唔是 BAP， 是我人新加坡人着无？所以9月11号，你人来投票支持加兰党。Dear Singaporeans and supporters of Workers' Party, my name is Singh, and I'm the candidate for Nee Soon GRC. I joined the Workers' Party in year 2006 and has been serving in various capacities in the grassroots. Many people ask me, why do you want to join the Workers' Party? You are not afraid of the BAP? My answer is, I have the backing of all the Workers' Party supporters. What am I scared of? Will all of you support me and my team? Thank you. I have been staying in Hougang all my life, and the government has totally neglected the residents of Hougang just because we voted for the oppositions. Their reply is simple. They should serve people who voted for them first. Do you think this is fair? All of us are citizens of Singapore and we pay taxes like any other. We do not deserve to be treated as second class. We do not want to be pushed around, correct? During the 2011 election, voters sent a clear signal to the BAP that they want their voices to be heard, and this caused the government to change policies and be more proactive to the needs of Singaporeans. Do you think that the government can do more? Yes, you are right. They can do more. However, the BAP is telling you that you don't need oppositions in the parliament as they listen to you. Do you believe what they say? Do you think that it is important to have a strong Workers' Party presence in the parliament? This time, I'm heading to contest in the Nee Soon GRC, anchored by Law and Foreign Minister Mr. K. Shanmugam. We are civilized, we don't jeer them. My team consists of another 4 members. There's Mr. Gurmit Singh, who is a legal counsel, Ms. Cheryl Loh, who is a sales assistant, consultant, Mr. Liu Loh, who is also a CEO of an investment holdings company, and Mr. Ron Tan, who has just spoken just now, who is a property agent. Many people ask me, your team seems young and inexperienced. Will it be tough? I tell them, my team consists of people from different walks of life who are representative of the average Singaporean. We have different backgrounds and trainings which help us to relate to the residents. In addition, we have the drive and the energies to get things done. As such, we felt empowered by the party to mount a serious challenge for the future of Singaporeans and the residents of Neighbourhood JRC. In 2011, when Mr. Loh left Hougang to contest in Aljunied, he said this Chinese proverb, 明知山有虎，偏向虎山行. For our contest in Nee-Soon, I would like to use another continuation from the proverb. 不入虎穴，焉得虎子? This is going to be a challenge, but we are ready for the challenge because we know that you, Singaporeans, are behind us all the way. We will not be walking alone. Dear fellow Singaporeans and supporters, the time has come again for you to exercise the right to ask the ruling party PAP to be grounded and listen to your concerns. The future of Singaporeans and Singapore's future generations lies in your hand. Come 11 September, vote wisely. Vote for the Workers' Party and empower your future. Thank you.
Thank you, Sengwan. Before we go to the next speaker, can I please ask that the people who are standing in row in the middle, please, if possible, you can sit down, try and find a space to sit down, so that the people behind can see and can see more clearly, okay? If it is possible, please do so. 要麻烦大家那些站在中间的哈，可以如果能坐下来就把坐下来哈，如果可能的话哈，这样后面的人可以看到，谢谢哈。OK， 我们下一位演讲者。
There are more people coming into the field right now.
从马林百列，我们马林百列的候选人何玲如小姐。Our next speaker will be our Marine Parade candidate, Ms.何玲如。
晚上好！今天晚上很高兴来看你们来出席我们工人党第2次的群众大会。我是何婷如，是马林百列局选区的候选人。马林百列我用英文跟大家讲话。Good evening, residents of JALAN BESAR and fellow Singaporeans. My name is He Ting-ru, and I am a Workers' Party candidate for Marine Parade GRC. First, a bit about myself. I grew up in Singapore before moving to England for university, where I completed my undergraduate studies at the University of Cambridge. I stayed in England to attend law school in London before training and working in an international law firm in both London and Frankfurt, Germany. In 2011, after living overseas for almost a decade, I felt my roots tugging me and came home to Singapore. 2011, as we all know, was a year of change for Singapore. I joined many Singaporeans who attended the rallies. I followed the election through the internet. Like many of us, I rejoiced at the Workers' Party winning the first GRC in Aljunied. It was a positive sign that system was maturing, even as we approached our golden jubilee. As someone who just returned home, I was also struck by how much my country had changed, by how crowded it was, by how expensive everything became. I was struck by the worries, hopes, and dreams that Singaporeans had for their future, the future of their children. And I was deeply moved by the love for their country that Singaporeans had, both PAP and opposition supporters alike. Spurred on by the message that each one of us can contribute to our country and community, I decided to volunteer with the Workers' Party. I started helping residents recently at the Meet the People sessions in Paya Lebar, which is part of our unique GRC. In the past 4 years and 3 months, I found myself learning about my country anew, about the concerns and problems faced by my fellow Singaporeans. It has been a deeply humbling experience, and I have learned so much from fellow volunteers and residents. I watched residents sharing makeshift shelters from cardboard cartons during an Hougang by-election rally when they were caught by a sudden thunderstorm. I saw the enthusiastic hard work by fellow volunteers stepping forward to organize a successful food distribution session. Most importantly, I also learned that there is much for us Singaporeans to be proud of, despite of the worries we sometimes feel about our future. When I decided to run for Member of Parliament, many of my friends and family were extremely worried. They asked me about the impact it will have on my family, my career, about whether I will get fixed. I understood their concerns. In fact, I had the exact same thoughts myself. But then, I asked myself 3 questions. 1, do I believe that it is healthy for Singapore to have a handful of people from the same political party deciding what is best for our country? 2, do I want a future for my country where my children dare not responsibly disagree with the government and speak their mind because they are afraid of being fixed? 3, do I think that our current policies and policy-making processes are perfect, that there is no need for improvement, that nothing needs to be done nothing more needs to be done for Singaporeans, especially vulnerable Singaporeans? The answer for each one of them was no. As a young Singaporean, I have my ideas about what should be my nation's path. I do not want a future where our leaders tell us what to do, what to think, where our people, and a future where our people spend so much time worrying about how much the CPF minimum sum will increase this year, worrying about whether the trains will break down on our way to a crucial job interview, or worrying about whether we have to end up waiting for hours or days in a hospital corridor for a bed to be available for us or our loved ones. Instead, I want a future where we see more citizens involved in deciding our own future, a future where we pay close attention to vulnerable groups, and a destiny where we promote access to opportunities for all. There is no more direct way of effecting that change for Singapore than running for Parliament. As my colleague Daniel Goh said last night, life is too short to be kiasu, kiasi, and kiagui. We must overcome that fear. We may be up against an impressive machinery from the PAP, but I believe that together we can build a Singapore, a future that we can be proud of, that our children can be proud of. The government's job is not to fix the opposition. The government's job is to do its job well. I decided to run for Parliament because I think the government can do better, and all of us can and must help them do so. With your support, the Workers' Party will help the government do better. Having made that decision, it is an honor and a privilege to be standing here today. With your continued support, I am confident that we in the WP will be able to serve our fellow Singaporeans and residents well. So, when in that polling booth, come 11th of September, I would like each one of us to ask these 3 questions. 1. Do we want more different voices to be heard in Parliament? Voices representing what you have to say. 2. Do we want our children to be able to speak out responsibly without fear because they disagree with the government? 3. Do we want to live in a country which empowers our citizens to create a society which looks out for the vulnerable, where our elders are active, healthy, and our children are not weighed down by the pressure to succeed at all costs? I hope the answer is yes to all of these questions, and that you would want more voices, no more fear in speaking out, and a compassionate society for all Singaporeans. Please play your part by voting for us, because we believe that together we can achieve a better future for Singapore. Vote for the Workers' Party to empower the future of our children. Vote for the Workers' Party to empower your future. Thank you.
大家晚上好。你好。麦波森的居民，大家晚上好。我是陈嘉喜。有一些居民问我，嘉喜哪一个嘉，哪一个喜？有喜的喜。家里的家，喜欢的喜，家家都欢喜。我今年29岁，好年轻啊！是工人党麦波森单选区的候选人。我爸爸是一名咖啡店跑台，我妈妈是兼职清洁工。我来自一个低收入的小康之家，在 A 水准会考时，我成绩不理想。未来并不明朗，上大学的机会看似遥不可及，但因是由理工学院所提供的机会，让我重新再来。今天我是新加坡国立大学和英国牛津大学的毕业生。我在2006年加入工人党，当时我20岁。我觉得为民做点事是一个蛮有意义的事，其实是一个很自然的事。这9年来，我在党里担任不同的职务，我也相继担任了刘成强议员和BESAR议员的国会助理。作为国会助理，必须到基层聆听人民的心声，并尽力为每位居民解决他们的问题。我的宗旨是：人民的小事是我们的大事。我的宗旨是： 人民的小事是我们的大事。我理想中的新加坡不只是一个发展的国家和繁华的都市，是一个我们人人向往温馨的家园。今天我站在这里，希望大家给我个机会做点事。我希望大家让我在9月11日成为麦波森单选区的代议士。这就要靠你们了。9月11日投工人党1票。I will now speak in English. Good evening, residents of McPherson SMC. My name is Chen Jiaxi Bernard, and I'm the Workers' Party candidate for McPherson. I come from a family of 4. My father is a coffee shop runner. My mother is a part-time cleaner. I was born into a one-room rental flat. Subsequently, my parents bought their first flat, which is a 3-room flat, and we moved into it. I remember what it was like growing up in the 80s and 90s. I had a childhood. I played hard and I injured myself. Pasir Ris Secondary was where I met my first group of lifelong friends. And I believe some of them are in the audience today. But there is a more serious point here. I did well at school not because I was exceptionally intelligent, but because of the great teachers I had in Pasir Ris Secondary School, a neighborhood school. The PAP government will want you to know that every school is a good school. But is this true? Look around you. At the schools we have in Singapore today, is every school well prepared and well equipped? If you have been a part of the Singapore education system, you know a gap exists. WP wants to close this gap by ensuring equitable funding for schools, and this means giving additional funds to neighborhood schools so they can become just as well equipped and just as well prepared to offer the best to their students. I want to empower our teachers just as they have empowered me when I was 16 years old, to dream big and aspire to do good for our society. However, whether a school is good or not doesn't stop at the amount of financial support it receives. It depends on whether its students of different abilities and backgrounds have a fighting chance at being well educated. That's why WP proposes a Teach for Singapore scheme to place dedicated teachers from the cohort of trainee and practicing teachers to use their strong leadership and motivation to help the underprivileged and improve the standard of underperforming schools. Let's empower our underprivileged children to think beyond their present circumstances and be leaders in the future Singapore society. While I did well to study in a junior college, I performed poorly at the A-levels. I was left with an uncertain future. The prospect of attending university was bleak, but an opportunity to restart my education presented itself. I picked myself up, worked hard, and today I'm a graduate from the National University of Singapore and the University of Oxford. While it appears that I benefited from the education system, mine was by no means a journey taken by most. More must be done for late bloomers like me. We must not have an education system that sends the wrong message to late bloomers. The Workers' Party proposal for a 10-year True Train School Program, or YTS, offers a different perspective in how we can empower our students to learn. It will offer more diversity in our education system. The 10-year YTS program will give students 10 years to prepare for their first major examination at secondary 4. And this will allow students to learn at a suitable pace while developing other areas of interest. Do you think this is a good idea? Yes, I have benefited from the present system. And I'm choosing to give back to the country through the Workers' Party. There is nothing wrong with that. An opposition supporter is as loyal and patriotic as any other PAP supporter. I am always first a Singaporean, and that is why I am running for public service to serve my fellow Singaporeans. We are running in this election for Singapore to empower her future. Singapore will be facing profound changes as we transit from SG50 and into an uncertain but exciting future. The future of Singapore lies in active investment in our fellow Singaporeans here and now. There is also a need to better integrate demands of a rapidly aging population with the hopes and aspirations of a young electorate. We need to find a balance to work out a consensus and to work together once tough decisions have been made. My ideal Singapore won't just be a country or a city, it will be home. It will be a place where our students and teachers feel empowered, a place where a primary 6 student can feel that there's more to education than struggling to get into the normal technical stream. A place where a JC student knows, as she lines up to collect her A-level results slip, that regardless of her results, she will still have real avenues towards success. We have come a long way in education since independence, but we are not resting on our laurels. There is much work to be done, and as Singaporeans, we have a role to play to ensure that all our children can feel empowered. All our children can be empowered. I joined the Workers' Party in June 2006. In my last 9 years in Workers' Party, I have been entrusted with various roles within the party. Since 2010, I have been very privileged to be a legislative assistant to Mr. Loh Khiang and Mr. Mohamed. As a legislative assistant, you have to be there, on the ground, speak to people, and attempt to understand what their needs are and where they are coming from. Essentially, you do your very best with the little you have to solve the little problems, small problems, big problems that they may have. That itself is a very fulfilling, that itself is a very meaningful experience. By taking this step out today to be your candidate for that person, I am merely doing my part as a Singaporean to serve, to inspire, and to empower my fellow citizens. We can all dream of a better future again. We can all create and reimagine a Singapore in the image of our collective hopes and aspirations. We can all look forward with confidence, knowing that our future is in our hands. But at the end of the day, we know that we can love an imperfect Singapore perfectly. This is my story, but this is not a rag to riches story. It is a story of just how much I realize I owe to society. By stepping forward, I hope that my personal story can empower each and every one of you to dream big. By stepping forward, I hope to inspire you to think above and beyond your immediate interests, to be of service to your family and the communities around you. And by stepping forward as Workers' Party youngest candidate in GE2015, I want to empower you to do things you have never once thought possible. Together, let's go to the polling booth on Friday, September 11th and vote Workers' Party and empower your future.
Coast GRC, our East Coast teammate, Mr. Mohamed Fairoz bin Sharif。我们下一位演讲者是从我们东海岸集选区组的法路士先生。
Good evening, my fellow Singaporeans and residents of JALAN BESAR GRC. Please allow me to speak first in Malay and then in English.
Boleh.
Assalamualaikum. Para penduduk JALAN BESAR GRC. Nama saya Mohamed Fairoz dan saya calon parti pekerja untuk East Coast GRC. Saya sudah berumah tangga dan mempunyai 3 orang anak. Saya memiliki ijazah sarjana muda sastera dengan kepribadian dalam bidang sejarah dan sarjana sastera dalam bidang pengajian Asia Tenggara, kedua-duanya dari Universiti Nasional Singapura. Saya baru sahaja meletak jawatan sebagai pustakawan bersekutu di Perpustakaan Negara untuk bertanding di pilihan raya ini sebagai calon parti pekerja untuk GRC East Coast.
We'll now talk to one of the participants at the rally.
Yeah, it is well organized.
Okay, look at the camera here. Yeah. How do you feel about the rally?
Yeah, it is well organized and everybody cooperate by taking care of one another on the ground.
Is this the first time at the Workers' Party rally?
For this year, yes, this is the first time.
Okay, so where do you stay? Where do you come
I
from?
stay in Marine Parade.
Oh, Marine Parade. So will you be supporting the party over there? Or
Well, I have to go for more rallies and decide later.
Who did you come with today? Your family?
Yes, I came with my sister and my brother is behind.
Saya amat kecewa kerana tidak dapat menggunakan hak saya untuk mengundi. Peristiwa itu menyedarkan saya bahawa kita memerlukan sebuah parti pembangkang yang berprestasi, yang dapat memberikan rakyat Singapura pilihan untuk menentukan masa depan mereka. Ia juga menyedarkan saya bahawa sebuah parti politik hanya boleh benar-benar meningkatkan prestasinya jika rakyat Singapura bersedia untuk menjadi ahli-ahli parti dan berdiri sebagai calon parti itu pada pilihan raya umum. Malangnya, kita hidup dalam iklim politik yang tidak seimbang dan didominasi oleh suara PAP. Oleh kerana Parlimen Singapura didominasi oleh PAP, dasar-dasar yang tidak popular telah dikubal tanpa penelitian yang lebih terperinci. Lihat sahaja bagaimana kertas putih populasi telah disahkan di Parlimen. Walaupun rakyat Singapura dan kesemua ahli Parlimen Parti Pekerja telah menyuarakan kebimbangan mereka dengan kertas putih itu, ia masih disahkan. Kenapa ia disahkan? Kerana ahli Parlimen PAP telah mengesahkannya. Slogan Parti Pekerja pada pilihan raya ini adalah memperkasakan masa depan anda. Slogan ini merangkumi mesej utama parti kita, yakni jika anda mengundi lebih banyak calon parti pekerja ke Parlimen, PAP akan didorong untuk menyelaraskan wawasannya untuk Singapura dengan pandangan sebenar rakyat Singapura. Saudara-saudari sekalian, anda lah yang menentukan masa depan anda, masa depan anak-anak anda, masa depan masyarakat anda dan masa depan Singapura. Undi anda akan menentukan sekiranya Singapura akan mempunyai sebuah parti pembangkang yang rasional dan bertanggungjawab yang akan dapat memperkasakan suara anda di Parlimen. Undilah Parti Pekerja, memperkasakan masa depan anda. I will now speak in English. My name is Mohamed Fairoz. I am the Workers' Party candidate for East Coast GRC. As this is my first rally speech, let me tell you a bit about myself. I am married and the father of 3 young children. I have an honours degree majoring in history and a master's degree majoring in Southeast Asian studies, both from the National University of Singapore. I was, until recently, an associate librarian at the National Library. I have since left the National Library to contest in this election as the Workers' Party candidate for East Coast GRC. Prior to joining the library, I was a senior education executive at the Singapore Discovery Centre and a part-time lecturer at UNICEF. My political journey has several milestones. The first milestone was in 2001. That year was supposed to be the year that I finally got the chance to exercise my right to vote. Unfortunately, during the 2001 general elections, East Coast GRC where I live had a walkover and PAP won the GRC without contest. I was very frustrated because I could not exercise my right to vote. It dawned upon me then that we need a strong and credible opposition party who will be able to give all Singaporeans a genuine choice. Such a choice is possible only if Singaporeans support an opposition party that is able to provide constructive policies and suggestions on how we can better tackle the many challenges that Singapore will be facing. My fellow Singaporeans, the Workers' Party is the strong and credible opposition party that Singapore needs. Our success is all because of you. It is only with your support that the Workers' Party has been able to win in Hougang, Aljunied and Punggol East. I hope that you will continue to support us so that we can keep growing to one day become a political party that is strong enough to give all Singaporeans a real choice by contesting any parliamentary seat where a real voice for the people is needed. My experience in 2001 has also made me realize that supporting an opposition party is actually not enough. A political party can only truly grow in strength if Singaporeans are willing to become members of the party and to ultimately stand as the party's candidates at the general election. Unfortunately, Singapore is currently very imbalanced politically and overwhelmingly dominated by the voice of the PAP. We live in a Singapore where the PAP's dominance in the parliament has allowed it to easily push through unpopular policies without these policies being properly and thoroughly deliberated. Just take a look at how the population white paper was endorsed. In spite of all the concerns expressed publicly by Singaporeans and by all our 9 Workers' Party MPs in Parliament, the population paper was still endorsed. How did it get endorsed? Because the PAP MPs voted for it. We are also living in a Singapore where involvement in opposition politics is sometimes frowned upon. Over the years, I have had friends, colleagues and family members who have advised me not to be involved in opposition politics. Many of them have expressed genuine concern over the possible consequences of being involved. Many have also advised me that I should just focus on my career and my family. For a time, I followed their advice. Even though I became a member of the Workers' Party in 2004, I reminded myself that I should just focus on my career and my family. But all of that changed in 2008, the second milestone in my political journey. When my first child was born, I asked myself, what kind of Singapore will I be giving to my children? My family and career are rooted in Singapore. Where this country is headed will not only affect me, but my children as well. Do we really want a Singapore that continues to be dominated by the voice of the PAP? No! Or do we want a Singapore that allows many voices, that allows your voices to be heard? We all want a better future for ourselves, for our children and for Singapore. Whenever I'm children, I realize that our future, our children's future and Singapore's future can and must be better. But it can only be better if and only if we are willing to make it better. We need to take charge of our future. This election, the Workers' Party slogan is Empower Your Future. This slogan captures the Workers' Party belief that the average Singaporean must speak up against an entrenched PAP power structure that has muted our voices. With that leverage, you will make the PAP realign its vision for Singapore with the real views of Singaporeans. We need you to vote more of us into the parliament so that we can look into the eyes of our children with hope rather than worry. My fellow Singaporeans, you determine your future, your children's future and Singapore's future. Your vote will decide if Singapore will have a strong and responsible opposition who is able to be your voice in parliament. Your vote will decide if Singapore will have a well-balanced parliament that will help you to take charge of your future. Vote the Workers' Party. Empower your future.
Our next speaker, some of you may have seen him on TV 2 days ago, representing the Workers' Party in a forum 2 days ago on CNA, is Mr. Leon Perera. 我们下一位演讲者是我们东海岸集选区候选人费立安先生。
Residents of JALAN BESAR GRC, friends and fellow Singaporeans, good evening. My name is Leon Perera, and I am the Workers' Party's candidate for East Coast GRC. Please allow me to greet you in Malay and Chinese before I speak in English. Salam sejahtera. Nama saya Leon Perera. Dan saya calon untuk Parti Pekerja di GRC East Coast. Kami dari Parti Pekerja meminta sokongan anda di pilihan raya ini kerana kami mahu anda memperkasakan masa depan anda. Undilah Parti Pekerja. 大家晚上好。我叫贝黎安，我们工人党一定会尽心尽力为人民服务。I spent 10 of my childhood years growing up in a flat in Teluk Blangah. My parents voted in the 1981 Ensign by-election that broke the PAP's monopoly on parliament over the 15-year previous period. My earliest political memory in that house was hearing the shouts of joy coming from the flats all around our home when the by-election result was announced. And I remember watching J.B. Jeyaretnam in Parliament on TV. One person debating a whole chamber of PAP MPs. One person. And my friends, how they mocked him and how they attacked him. in debate, and a few months after winning Anson, the PAP government declared that the People's Association would not work with the elected MP of Anson, with opposition MPs, and that decision remains in place today. As a boy, I remember thinking how unfair that all was. At that time, and for all the years since, I felt so grateful that there were a few Singaporeans like JBJ who stood up for democracy, who stood up for political balance in Singapore, in spite of all the obstacles put in their way. And finally, this gratitude led me to become a proud member of the Workers' Party today. My friends, what is at stake in this election? The PAP would have you believe that what is at stake is whether your estate is clean and well maintained. In introducing most of its candidates, the PAP made little mention of national issues. My fellow Singaporeans, we need to ask the PAP, if this is a local election, when is the national election going to be held? When will the PAP hold the election about how our older Singaporeans will be able to afford to retire? When will the PAP hold the election about what the size of our population will be? When will the PAP hold the election about how we manage our trains? This election is about our country. Friends, in its manifesto, the PAP dwelt on its report card for past years, and it offered statements of intent on what it would try to achieve in future. Statements of intent. Now, one of these statements of intent, for example, reads, invest in every Singaporean to help them get good jobs, upgrade, and make the best in life. That's a good intention. I agree. But how exactly are you going to do this? What exactly will you do? The PAP's manifesto gave away very little detail on what specifically they plan to do as a government so as to achieve those intentions for the next 5 years. They expect Singaporeans to give them blind faith that what they do will be what you want them to do. Do you want to give them blind faith? No! In his National Day rally speech 5 days ago, the Prime Minister asked if Singapore would become an ordinary country with gridlocked governments unable to act. Gridlock. We had 7 elected Workers' Party MPs in the last Parliament. Did we get gridlock? No. In fact, the last term of Parliament has seen a burst of enthusiasm for reform. Many laws have been passed. Many of these address problems that were not new. Problems dating back years before 2011. But only after 2011 did the PAP start fixing them in earnest. And in doing so, the PAP moved closer to many of the key positions in the Workers' Party's 2011 manifesto, such as medical insurance and delinking HDB BTO pricing from resale prices. Was the Pioneer Generation package the product of gridlock? Was investing close to $1 billion to improve our creaking train and bus infrastructure the product of gridlock? Was the Silver Support Scheme the product of gridlock? No. Friends, for years we all knew the problems facing some of our older Singaporeans. For years we have been troubled at the sight of elder Singaporeans cleaning hawker centres and picking up cardboard boxes. It's troubled many of us for years. Do you think they do it for exercise? No! Neither do I. Experts spoke up about this problem. Non-constituency MPs spoke up about this problem. Nominated MPs spoke up about this problem. Even some PAP backbench MPs, some good ones, spoke up about this problem. But the PAP self-check did not work. It was only after the Workers' Party won Aljunied in 2011 that the PAP introduced the Pioneer Generation package and the Silver Support That worked. There has been improvement since 2011, but there is much more to be done, much more. The Workers' Party has detailed over 130 policy recommendations in its 2015 GE manifesto to improve our quality of life and to strengthen our way of life as a country. The PAP says that this means, and this is an important point, my friends, the PAP says that this means the Workers' Party is claiming credit. Claiming credit. By the same token, they are claiming credit for themselves and giving no credit to the people of Singapore. The PAP are positioning themselves as heroes for partly fixing the problems that they themselves created in the decade before 2011. Do you think they are heroes for fixing these problems? In truth, friends, it was not the Workers' Party that saved the day in 2011. It was the Singaporean people who saved the day. It was us, our collective confidence to stand up and say that Singapore should be shaped by Singaporeans. All the credit goes to the citizens of this great country, the citizens who had the courage and confidence to vote for change. And we can find that courage and confidence again in this general election. What is at stake in this general election, my friends, is just this: the idea that Singaporeans can have a democratic society based on justice and equality, as our pledge enjoins us to do. The pledge that our children recite every day in school. My friends, the battle cry of our forefathers was Merdeka. Our battle cry today should be Majulah, forward, onward, not backwards. That we love. We must have more responsible opposition MPs in Parliament to ensure that the government moves the country in the direction Singaporeans want, not just the direction that they want. Yes, Singaporeans want! Memperkasakan masa depan anda. 掌我民权，保我未来。
This is Happy TV at the Workers' Party rally at Jalan BESAR. As you know, this is their second rally for the 2015 general elections. The crowd was reacting very well to the multiple languages that Leon Perera spoke. As you all know, Leon Perera is the candidate for East Coast GRC. The crowd is cheering because Mr. Khiang has entered the rally grounds. The crowd is getting on their feet for Mr. Khiang.
And I'm the candidate for JALAN BESAR GRC. Allow me to make my first speech in Malay. Assalamualaikum. Para penduduk GRC JALAN BESAR. Nama saya Rizwan dan saya berumur 30 tahun. Pada tahun ini, slogan kata Parti Pekerja memperkasakan masa depan anda benar-benar berkait rapat dengan diri saya. memperkasakan masa depan anda sebagai rakyat Singapura berhak untuk memilih dan mengundi calon anggota parlimen yang anda rasa sesuai. Hak itu adalah khas untuk rakyat Singapura dan bukan warga asing. Baik pekerjaan apapun, walaupun bekerja di sektor swasta, syarikat yang berkaitan dengan pemerintah atau perkhidmatan awam seperti pegawai tentera, pegawai pendidikan atau pegawai polis. Hak mengundi ialah hak anda. Dengan tujuan itu, memperkasarkan masa depan anda, ingatlah hak anda tersebut. Namun demikian, terdapat segelintir orang yang takut terhadap pemerintahan PAP kerana mereka percaya bahawa PAP akan mendapat tahu siapa yang mereka undi. Itu tidak benar. Undi anda adalah rahsia. Ada setengah masyarakat beranggapan bahawa PAP yang membayar gaji mereka jika mereka bekerja sebagai anggota perkhidmatan awam. Maka mereka beranggapan bahawa mereka harus mengundi calon PAP. Ada juga yang percaya bahawa tanpa pemerintah PAP, negara kita akan mundur dan hancur, dan akhirnya Singapura akan berubah kembali menjadi seperti negara dunia ketiga. Adakah ini benar? Itu tentu sekali tidak benar. Ada yang beranggapan bahawa jika mereka mempunyai ahli parlimen dari pembangkang yang berkhidmat untuk mereka, kawasan kediaman mereka akan menjadi tidak terurus. Adakah anggapan itu juga benar? Ya, tidak benar. Lihatlah GRC Aljunied, SMC Hougang dan Punggol East. Kawasan undi tersebut tetap kelihatan bersih dan indah. Kesimpulannya, anggota pembangkang bukan musuh pemerintah. Mungkin ada yang beranggapan bahawa kehadiran kami bertujuan untuk menghancurkan Singapura. Saya ingin tekankan sekali lagi, anggota Parti Pekerja mencintai negara Singapura. Anggota Parti Pekerja akan terus berkhidmat untuk anda. Undilah Parti Pekerja, memperkasakan masa depan anda. Voters of Jalan Besar GRC and Singaporeans, good evening. My name is Rizwan Hafiz and I am the candidate for Jalan Besar GRC. Let me give you an introduction about myself. I hold a degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Newcastle and a Masters of Science in Engineering Business Management from the University of Warwick. Before I went to university, same with my colleague, Mr. Bernard Chen, who is a candidate for Macpherson, I studied in BESAR Secondary School too, a neighborhood school. And today, this school and two candidates running for the election for the Workers' Party. So that means every school in Singapore is a good school. When I studied in Australia, I was lucky to observe the 2007 Australian election. The result is a change of government. The Liberal Party was being replaced by the Labour Party. The citizens empowered their future. So being Singaporean, a bit kiasu and PAP propaganda, I asked myself, how like that? Government change, very scary. But I was just being Singaporean. Always afraid of anything related to the opposition. But what happens next? Nothing happened because it's a first world country with a first world political climate. And hence when I came back, I joined the Workers' Party in 2011. And here I am today. When I first joined the party, many friends and families asked me, why do I join the opposition? which can cause a lot of inconvenience in many areas. Many ask me if I make this decision just because it's an in thing to be in the opposition camp today. My answer was no. I joined the opposition because I felt the country that I love is moving towards the wrong direction. It was not an easy decision for me, but somebody has to do it, so I will do it. Opposition members are not the enemy of the government. Some may be thinking that we are here to cause harm to Singapore in some ways or another. Let me share with you something. After 2011, I've been walking the ground to the areas which the Workers' Party used to contest in 2011. Some say you only appear during elections. They are wrong. We walk even after the election is over. We distribute our party flyers, which some of you may have received. And at times, we have a group of people, and sometimes individuals, who will follow us and take pictures of us. Sometimes we have a group of people and individuals who will throw the flyers away, which we have put at the door of the residence. I don't know where they come from, but I feel that this is something wrong. And I got a message for them. If the intention is to scare us, after this election, the Workers' Party will continue serving the people of Singapore and will continue our work further. We will not be moved by these scare tactics. Why I am sharing all of this with you? Because it's not an easy road for us, Singaporeans and the party. Empowering your future will be a long journey for many of us. The Workers' Party had 9 members of parliament, and you can see how the PAP government can easily outnumber them when it comes to voting for certain issues such as the white paper population. We may not be fielding the numbers able to make 1/3 representation in parliament, but I believe the next step after this is to have more Workers' Party MPs in parliament. And slowly we could build on that foundation. After 2011, you can see what happened. When the PAP lost Aljunied GRC, they started listening. When the PAP lost Punggol East SMC, they started improving. And let them lose Jalan Besar GRC and maybe there was something happening. This year, the Workers' Party slogan of Empower Your Future is something that I feel strongly. To empower your future, Singaporeans have the right to vote their choice of Member of Parliament. This right is exclusively theirs, and foreigners are not allowed. They can choose their representative on average once every 5 years. Regardless of occupation, whether you are in the private sector, government-linked company, or even the civil service, such as military, education, or policemen, take note of this. It is your right to vote who you feel best represent you. However, there are a group of people who are scared of the PAP and assume that the PAP will trace them down should they vote for the opposition. Is this true? No! This is not true. Your vote is secret. There are people who believe the PAP government are their paymasters and should only vote for the PAP. There are people who believe without the PAP government, our country will go back to its third world status. No. Is this true? No! It's not true. Some people may have the assumptions that if an opposition MP is serving me, my ward will look like a slum. Is this true? No! Look at Aljunied, Hougang and Punggol East. They look clean and beautiful. Dear voters, we must not be moved or afraid of these scare tactics of the PAP. It is our right as Singaporeans to empower our future. 50 years of independence, our country has gone far with the previous generation of leadership. We should stop looking back frequently. We cannot be looking back every time. We need to consistently look back on we need to stop consistently looking back on the achievement of the previous generation leaders. We need to make Singapore a better place for our younger generation. We need to start taking ownership of our country's political landscape. We need to empower our own future. Vote for Workers' Party, empower your future.
Our next speaker is also a candidate for JALAN BESAR GRC, is Mr. Adrian Lim. 我们下一位演讲者也是我们惹然误差候选人沈建福先生。
Dear voters of JALAN BESAR GRC, dear Workers' Party's supporters, dear fellow Singaporeans, a very good evening. 大家晚上好。My name is Png Eng Huat, Adrian. I am 43 years old. I am a father of two. What makes me want to volunteer? One of the main reasons is to model myself to my children so that they can be a useful person to the society and be compassionate when they grow up. Both my sons are in primary 2 this year, although the PSLEs are still 4 years away. My wife and I already face stress and wondering whether we will ever prepare them well enough to get into the secondary school of their choice. Many of my friends who have also primary school going children are as stressed as I am. And of course, most of the stress will pass down to our children. To me, it seems that the only objective of getting our children to go to the primary school is to ace PSLE. Never mind about learning or general knowledge or even soft skills. That is all secondary. But shouldn't it be the other way around? I was talking to my 8-year-old boy the other day and I asked him, what do you think if you don't have to take PSLE? And do you know what he answered me? He happily said, yeah, that's a very good idea. When I asked him again, what do you think if we don't have any test or exam all the way to primary 6? He once again said, yes, that's a good idea. Then I asked him, if there's no test or exam, then what would you do at the school? His eye lit up and stared at me and said one word, learn. And that should be the way that our children learn. The PSLE system is flawed as a basis of determining the fate of our children. How can you determine the true talents of a child simply on the basis of a few standardized tests taken at the age of 12? And this reliance on academic achievement as a benchmark for determining a child is good has become the norm. And what is deemed good is a goalpost that is getting narrower and narrower. with the curriculums getting more and more difficult, sometimes unrealistically so. For example, a primary one child is expected to write a competition at the end of the academic year, when he or she is not proficient with the basics of the English language. It is like building a house of cards with little or no foundation. We should be focusing on getting the children to understand the basics, the building blocks of the language, well before getting them to even start composing a story. To be fair, we have seen some changes lately with a slight shift to reduce the focus on academic performance through standardized tests. However, that is not enough. We need to relook at the pace of the curriculums and reduce the class size to maybe 20 students per class. Of course, part of the stress is also because of the large gaps between the elite secondary schools and neighborhood schools. We can help narrow these gaps through more equitable funding for secondary schools. We can also make special efforts to channel more teaching resources to the weaker schools. If the gap is narrow, parents and students can become less stressed about what secondary school they can go. We propose in our manifesto to allow the parent the option, not replacement, of putting their primary school students in a 10-year through-train system, from primary to secondary, especially for children who are late bloomers, so that they are not left behind by the system. Stress is not necessarily bad. It is what shapes us, molds us, and builds us. But too much stress is not good for us and our children. Yes. We need to reduce the amount of stress that we are putting on our children and ourselves. We need to change the mindset of young students and acing the DSLE at all costs. We need to retain the type of education system we want to nurture our young children, our own people. Time has changed. The environment has changed too. We must change our mindset and our way. If you want to nurture and prepare the next generation for a better, more humane Singapore, vote for Workers' Party. Empower your future.
Thank you, Adrian. Our next two speakers are no newcomers to this area. They were formerly candidates in the Mohamed GRC in the last election. May I first present to you the first of the two candidates, Ms. Peter Chan Xiu-Pei. 我们下两位候选人，在这个地区不是新面孔？他们在上一届大选曾经在欧明家等集选区是我们的候选人。我们下一位演讲者就是曾小平女士。
创國界新加坡啦，有粒國家界所命，大家好。但是今呢，我係應付演講，對唔住。Tonight I will use English. Good evening. fellow Singaporeans and residents of JALAN BESAR GRC. I am Frida Chan. I'm a medical social worker, currently working in a hospital. I've been in the social work for about 15 to 20 years, both at local and international level in the areas of direct one-to-one casework and community development, consultation, and projects. I started volunteering with the Workers' Party since 2001, but officially joined in October 2006. I have served in the UP Exco as well as the party leadership as council member and deputy treasurer. I also helped with the Meet People session and community support projects in our unique GRC. This is my second time standing for election. I first stood, as what our MC have introduced, as candidate for Momi Kalang GRC in 2011. Today, there's no more Momi Kalang GRC. Part of this GRC has been drawn out to Tanjung Pagar GRC. Another part of it has been drawn to Bishan Toa Payoh. This is so confusing for many residents. They said, what level queue? This morning, as we did our walkabouts in the market, some residents asked, is PM Lee contesting here in JALAN BESAR? Another elderly asked me, is this GRC drawn out to Ang Mo Kio? I scratched my head and said, why they asked this question? I suppose this elderly must have associated PMD with Ang Mo Kio GRC. So when he saw the PM's posters in the area, he thought this area could have been renamed Ang Mo Kio. In some sense, I was not surprised by his assumption. Serangoon Central can be part of Marine Parade. What is impossible in this country? That definition. As one elderly said, where lie, where let me translate. This is a Teochew, right? What this elderly said is, you draw here and you draw there. My head is spinning now. Many elderly can't read. Sometimes they can be as intuitive as many of us, dependent on the orientation of the environment. For example, some elderly I have encountered shared with me that they would not have their purple senior citizen possession card at the traffic crossings, although they understood just by tapping the card there will be more time allowance for them to cross the roads. So I inquired. They replied, if I tap the card, it would be charged money for taking more time to cross the road. Well, we can't really blame these elderly. They use the same purple card when they take the bus, when they take the MRT. It is so confusing for them that this card has dual purpose. We need to study and understand the social psychology and behavior of the elderly. Sometimes the solution could be as simple as just watching them and listening more to them. And whenever and whatever we can do to serve them better, let's make the environment more livable for them. In addressing some of the needs of the elderly, the Workers' Party has observed and we propose having walkable HPB towns. Number one, speed limit to be further reduced in areas where pedestrian traffic is heavy, as the elderly needs more time to cross the roads. Two, the roads leading to zones with reduced speed, they should be demarcated with the use of road surface paint and made narrower. Three, countdown timers should be available so that they can gauge how much time they need to cross. Sometimes the tongkat takes a while, right?
Wherever possible, street level crossings should be prioritized over overhead bridge and other passes to make it more barrier free and custom free. Yes! Custom means knee pain free. We also propose reviving the convenience shop and coffee shop. The Workers' Party proposes the HDB allocate a portion of the void deck space for at least a convenience shop and a coffee shop for every 2 precincts. This will allow greater accessibility for people to get their groceries to meet their daily needs. For those who are staying in JALAN, you know this very well. You have to walk very far to get what you need. In addition, convenience shops and coffee shops are community halls. These are places where residents foster their laborliness. B. Convenience shops and coffee shops are an integral part of Singapore heartland culture and living heritage. Thus, they need to be kept alive. HDB should directly manage the listing of these shops and keep the rental costs low so that it will encourage more small businesses to operate these facilities and translate the benefits to consumers. Unlike what the PAP often accuses us, the Workers' Party is not here to empty the government's coffers. We are a down-to-earth political party. We tune in to the people. We study the concerns and we dialogue with the people to co-generate some of these solutions. The Workers' Party seeks to empower the people through such processes. We hope you can give us the opportunity to represent you in the Parliament. Pushing forward some of these solutions which you have co-generated with us. We give us the opportunity to serve you as elected MP. These some of the concerns and the proposals, I'll champion them for you. Let's make our heartland a more livable place, a more heartwarming place. Empower your future, vote the Workers' Party. Thank you.
This is Happy TV at Jalan Besar. The rally field now is so packed that people can be seen standing at the nearby overhead bridge just to get a better view.
是我们惹兰乌沙集选区队伍的硕妈先生。Our next speaker is our candidate for Jalan Besar GRC. He's also the former candidate in Mohamed Kalang GRC. Let's welcome Mr. Soma Sundram. Soma Sundram.
Please allow me to speak a few words in Tamil first. சக சிங்கப்பூரர்களே, ஜாலான் பெசார் வாக்காளர்களே, வணக்கம். என் பெயர் சோமசுந்தரம், வயது 52. நான் ஒரு பலதுறை கல்லூரி விரிவுரையாளராக இருக்கிறேன். சென்ற 2011ஆம் ஆண்டு பொதுத் தேர்தலில் நான் மொல்மேன் காலான் குழு தொகுதியில் போட்டியிட்டேன். இப்பொழுது நான் ஜலான் பெசார் குழு தொகுதியில் போட்டியிட இருக்கிறேன். PAP அரசாங்கம் தேர்வு தொகுதி எல்லையை மாற்றிக்கொண்டே இருக்கலாம். ஆனால் பாட்டாளி கட்சியின் குறிக்கோள் மாறாது. அதாவது சிங்கப்பூர் மக்களின் குறைகளை கேட்டறிந்து மக்களுக்கு சேவை செய்யும் கொள்கை மாறாது. என் குழுவில் என்னை தவிர Terence Tan, Adrian Lim மற்றும் ரிஜ்வான் உள்ளனர். சென்ற பொதுத் தேர்தலில் ஆல்ஜுனைட் வாக்காளர்கள் நாடாளுமன்றத்துக்கு 7 பாட்டாளி கட்சி வேட்பாளர்களை தேர்ந்தெடுத்தனர். அதற்கு பின் அரசாங்கம் தன் கொள்கைகளில் சில மாற்றங்களை செய்துள்ளது. எல்லாம் உங்கள் வாக்கின் சக்தியால். பாட்டாளி கட்சிக்கு வாக்களியுங்கள். உங்கள் சக்தியில் உங்கள் எதிர்காலம். நன்றி, வணக்கம். Good evening, fellow Singaporeans and JALAN BESAR voters. Welcome to the Workers' Party rally. My name is Soma. My full name is L. Soma Sundram. You can call me Soma. Thank you. And I work as a polytechnic lecturer. I contested in Moulmein Kalang GRC in 2011 and now I am back this time as a candidate for the JALAN BESAR GRC. Dear JALAN BESAR voters, when we did our house visits, we told our residents that this is no more Moulmein Kalang GRC and that it is now JALAN BESAR GRC. Some residents said they knew of the change. Many residents did not know. And some residents were surprised. One resident even said she has stayed in the same place for a long time and has been in 3 GRCs. Another resident said she has lost count of the different GRCs she has been in. We have been visiting residents in JALAN BESAR GRC since a few years ago, after the elections in 2011. You might have heard me knock on your door and greet, "Wan San Hao, Kong Ren Tang Lai Pai Pang." Or, "Salam sejahtera, kita dari Parti Pekerja." Or, "Patai Kecil Erdogan Rom." Well, the PAP government may change the boundaries and call places different names. But the Workers' Party never changes its aim to work for the people of Singapore. The Workers' Party is now back to seek your support and the chance to serve you. Let me present to you my team. You might have already heard them. This candidate grew up in Geylang and Bedok. Coming from a very humble background, he started working part-time at the age of 15 to supplement his family's household expenses. He's Adrian Lim. Adrian has a bachelor's degree in business administration from Australia, which he acquired through distance learning while working in the day and studying at night and on weekends. Adrian is the managing director of a joint venture company. The next candidate is a familiar face to you. She was my teammate in the Workers' Party team that contested in Moulmein Kalang in 2011. Freda Chan Sioping is a senior medical social worker. Who assists with families with financial difficulties. She also counsels families of diverse backgrounds from various issues. She has been active in social service and community work and in WP's grassroots activities. The next candidate for JALAN BESAR is Ridwan Hafiz Abdul Razak. Ridwan has a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and a master's degree in engineering business management. In 2013, Ridwan was elected as a Youth Wing Exco member Since 2011, Ridwan has been active with the party as well as a grassroots volunteer serving residents in Aljunied GRC. Can we have it, please? Of Jalan Besar. These are the candidates from Workers' Party for Jalan Besar GRC. Although the government has tightened the supply of foreign talent, the number of unemployed PMETs, professionals, managers, executives and technicians has not decreased drastically. This is a big problem among middle-aged professionals and mid-level managers. MOM implemented the Fair Consideration Framework, FCF, last year to get firms in Singapore to consider Singaporeans fairly for jobs. Its main aim is to prevent employers from using discriminatory hiring practices and avoid hiring Singapore citizens. In addition, a new national jobs bank was also launched last year to facilitate job matching between employers and Singaporean job seekers. An online portal where Singapore registered companies can publish job advertisements targeted at Singapore citizens and PRs. But the FCM only protects Singaporeans who earn at least $3,300 a month. The median Singapore income, excluding employer CPF, is about $3,100 a month. This means that nearly half of all Singaporeans are not protected. If you are a typical diploma holder and earn around $2,000 to $2,500 a month, or you are a blue-collar worker, you still face competition from a big pool of foreigners. MOM says, and I quote, "We have not made this compulsory for firms submitting applications for S-passes or work permits because there are other tools such as levies and dependency ratio ceilings that spur firms to search for suitable Singaporeans before applying for an S-pass or work permit. This does not level the playing field for lower income Singaporeans. Foreigners can afford to ask for lower salary, but we cannot. Singapore is already one of the most expensive places to live in. With property, food and transport costs so high, we have to fork out a big portion of our monthly income on those items. And these are essential expenditures. The bottom 40% of Singaporeans who are not protected by FCN spend on average about $800 to $850 per household member on essentials every month. For a family of four, that would be $3,200 to $3,400 per month. With a high cost of living, we simply can't afford to charge very low rates for our labor. I have a friend who is 54 years old, going to be 55 soon. He lost his managerial job due to restructuring. He is well qualified and has several years of experience in his field. My friend has been out of a job for almost a year now. He even joked to me that he's going to celebrate his first anniversary of joblessness in a few weeks' time. I didn't find it very funny. He has tried applying for hundreds of jobs unsuccessfully. Now, I know my unemployed friend is not alone. I believe there are thousands of Singaporeans in the same situation. as of June 2014, there were more than 9,000 Singaporean residents aged 40 and older holding a degree but unemployed. Those with diplomas or professional qualifications numbered nearly 5,000. All of the unemployed PMETs I spoke with are not demanding any special benefits. Unlike a special group of people, they are not demanding $1 million salaries. They are not even expecting to be paid the same amount when they were gainfully employed. They have reduced their expectations, some to even less than half their last earned salary. Yet, this group of Singaporeans are still unable to find a job. We have thousands of PMETs well qualified and experienced. If you see the job span, there are thousands of jobs available, nearly 60,000 openings. Are PMETs unable to do these jobs? Now I want to make it very clear that we are not against foreign talent. There are many talented foreigners in Singapore with skills and expert knowledge that Singapore and Singaporeans lack. Their presence here adds value to our economy. As part of the global economy and as a global city, Singapore needs skilled people from overseas. We welcome such truly talented foreigners. What I am saying is, we must protect our workers from unfair competition. Singaporeans are in demand all over the world. They have skills the world needs. We see stories in the media regularly that proudly tell of Singaporeans who have made it good in other countries, like chefs and designers. As proposed in our manifesto, we need to screen all employment past and as-past applicants. We must protect our workers from foreigners who do not have the credentials to do the jobs they were hired for. We therefore propose that all employment pass and as-pass applicants with university degrees and diplomas earned outside Singapore be subject to compulsory educational credential assessment. The government should appoint an established education consultancy that is independent and has the expertise to conduct the ECA, the Educational Credential Assessment. The ECA report should be sent to the government, prospective employer and applicant. MOM has started to reject work pass applications that contain doubtful qualifications, such as those from degree mills. This is to ensure that foreign PMEs are of a suitable quality and experience, MOM said. We do not know if similarly dubious applications have made it past the system over the years. All we know is that the government is finally taking action now. That is the power of your voice. By empowering your future, you can make the government listen to you. I am Somar, candidate for JALAN BESAR GRC. Word, Workers' Party, empower your future. Thank you.
You can see from over here, people are putting orchid garlands over the candidates.
下一个演讲者是我们201集选区的候选人张新先生。Our next speaker is our candidate for Arjuni GRC, Mr. Png Singh.
This is the second time Png Singh is speaking at the rally.
晚上好。Voters of Singapore, please allow me to first speak in Malay. Pengundi Arjuni GRC yang terhormat, kami telah mendengar ramai pemimpin kanan pemerintah mendakwa bahawa dunia tidak bermula pada tahun 2011. Menurut mereka, pilihan raya bersejarah tahun 2011 di mana PAP kehilangan GRC tidak menyebabkan PAP untuk menukar pendekatan mereka pada rakyat Singapura. Seperti anda, saya mendapati ini sukar dipercayai. Dalam fikiran saya, PAP berusaha dengan gigih untuk melemahkan kuasa undian anda. Hakikatnya adalah ini. Jika Arjuni GRC tidak jatuh dan rakyat Singapura tidak menyerlahkan kekecewaan mereka melalui undi, adakah anda fikir kita akan melihat perubahan dalam negara kita hari ini? Maka kita melihat berbagai macam perkembangan seperti pelaksanaan pakej generasi perintis dan sebagainya. Itu adalah kuasa undi anda. Hari ini kita melihat tentera kita kerap menampilkan gambar-gambar juru terbang, penyelam dan askar perisai Melayu. Ini tidak sepatutnya menjadi sesuatu yang luar biasa. Masyarakat boleh mengharapkan ini menjadi normal. Masyarakat boleh mengharapkan ini menjadi. Jangan biarkan orang lain memberitahu anda bahawa anda tidak boleh bercita-cita untuk mengambil jawatan tinggi dalam tentera dan bahawa terdapat diskriminasi. Anda adalah setia seperti mana-mana warga Singapura yang lain. Teruslah berjaya dalam kerjaya masing-masing. Jangan hanya bercita-cita untuk menjadi juru terbang pejuang dan penyelam, tetapi bertujuanlah untuk menguasai skuadron, batalion, brigade, division dan ketua tentera. Jumlah prajurit Melayu dalam jawatan-jawatan ini haruslah lebih besar berbanding sebelum ini. Milikilah hak-hak yang sama yang ditawarkan ke masyarakat Singapura yang lain. Bagi mereka yang sedang bekerja, lihatlah secara serius skills future dan cara menggunakan credit skills future anda untuk meningkatkan diri. Ramai daripada anda mungkin tidak tahu ini, tetapi credit skills future seperti yang dilaksanakan di UK telah dijalankan di Parlimen Singapura pada tahun 2010. Tetapi cadangan ini ditolak oleh PAP. Tetapi selepas tahun 2011, setelah kajian PAP tentang model UK, ia dilaksanakan. Warga Singapura yang saya hormati, satu undi untuk pembangkang adalah sesuatu yang akan memperkasakan anda. Ia memastikan pemerintah bekerja keras untuk anda. Perjalanan untuk mencapai masyarakat yang lebih seimbang dan lebih adil masa jauh lagi. Undilah parti pekerja dan memperkasakan masa depan anda. Terima kasih. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience as you listen to my speech in Malay. Now I'm going to do something I've never done before, which is to attempt to say some words in Mandarin, which I have thought over and tried my best to practice. They reflect my views as a minority MP, and I hope you forgive me for the numerous pronunciation mistakes I am sure I will make. 亲爱的选民，工人党的支持者，身为一个西克人，我从来没有机会学习华语和一些方言，比如广东话和潮州话。我想用华语来演讲，是为了要感谢 UNCENSORED 的居民，因为他们在我做家访的时候，都很耐心的听我用很糟糕的华语和他们交谈。我会继续努力，谢谢大家包涵。
That was Mr. Pritam Singh speaking in Mandarin.
作为一个国会议员，我发现当我用很种族的母语和居民沟通时，他们都会比较愿意和我奉献他们的故事。我们虽然来不同北京，谈谈我们尝试用他人的母语来沟通时，我们在建立彼此间的桥梁。加强我们这个多元种族社会的凝聚力，也是个提醒我们不论是什么种族，说的什么语言，我们都是新加坡人。工人党要建设一个多元种族的新加坡，我们希望各种族不但能够互相体谅，也能够意识到不同信仰和语言的可贵。一个简单的问候，如谢谢，特别感谢，相信有人都有深远的意义。一个种族团结的新加坡，就是一个强大的新加坡，也是一个工人党想建设和服务的新加坡。加油！掌握民权，把握未来，投一票。
Our next speaker is Secretary General of the Workers' Party, candidate for our GRC, Mr. Khiang.
Mr. Khiang takes to the stage and people are standing up, giving support. The crowd is now in a frenzy. And chanting Workers' Party.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I will first speak in Mandarin and later in English. 各位葛兰布萨地选区的选民和工人党的支持者，晚上好。 刚才比当心的华语还可以吧？
还可以
2011年的大选，感谢你把票投给工人党，支持我们一同创造一个更美好的新加坡。4年来，我们一直坚守信念，做个理性、负责任并受人尊重的政党。相信大家都知道，这几个月来，行动党把阿育尼后港板儿东市政会的事大做文章。在国会花了2天的时间辩论总审计署的报告内容，我们也花了2天的时间在国会解释，但是行动党却借机会做人身攻击，进行政治抹黑，赚取政治资本。更可笑的是，行动党的部长们居然没有根据的指责。首先是国家发展部政务部长李志深，他在2014年11月7日的时候说，刘先生并没有透露的是，后港市政会是因为在2011年加入了阿育尼市政会，才避免了现金周转不灵的财务问题。同月的21日，他又问，阿育尼后港板儿东市政会是否用他的盈余来填补后港市政会的亏损？然后呢，副总理张志贤在2015年8月14日说，出现营运赤字的后港市政会，加入有盈余的阿育尼市政会。接下来呢，是立政兼外交部部长山木根，在2015年8月27日介绍候选人的时候，语带讽刺地说，选民必须决定他们是否要津贴其他出现营运赤字的市政会。各位选民，我慎重地告诉大家，后港市政会在工人党的管理之下，在加入阿育尼市政会之前，根本就没有财务危机。在2011年5月26日加入阿育尼市政会的时候，后港市政会不但没有亏损，还有超过8万元的盈余。行动党这些部长竟然危言耸听，误导选民，这样的政党又有什么诚信可言？行动党在每一届大选都说他们很注重更新，不过他们只是换汤不换药。这么多年来的所谓的候选人的更新，虽然不同人啊，但是行动党整个政党的思想却依然狭窄，容不下和他们政见不同的任何人。我现在要问李显龙总理， 这就是你所谓的行动党的素质吗？各位，不同意政府的政策，不代表不爱国。一个民主社会，我们不应该把政治和选举当成是一场战争，不是一些代价击垮对手。我们应该培养公平竞争、有建设性的政治。这一次的选举，用你手中的一票，发出明确的信息，告诉行动党，新加坡人拒绝这种不择手段、抹黑对手的政治，这是一种肮脏政治。在未来的50年内，我们需要一个新的政治环境，使新加坡在将来有更好的发展。我们应该有一个有包容性的政府，有一个自由的政治环境，使拥有不同意见和思维的人民能够在多元种族和文化的局限下，可以发挥他们的才华，在百花齐放的环境里，我们的人民才会有创造力。我们才能够在国际市场上竞争，而继续取得成功。所以9月11日，为了新加坡有更公正平等的民主社会，为了你和你子孙有更光明的未来，投工人的一票，把握未来。谢谢。
下一位演讲者是我们工人党主席小姐our next speaker of the Workers' Party, Adrian Lim.
Good evening, fellow Singaporeans and voters of JALAN BESAR GRC. In 2006, the Workers' Party slogan was, "You have a choice." In 2011, it was, "Towards a First World Parliament." This year, it is "Empower Your Future." I would like to use these to show you 3 ways the Workers' Party is different from the PAP. First, we are different from the PAP because we respect your vote. The PAP does not. The Workers' Party has offered you a choice for many years. However, the PAP has diluted your choice and often made it very difficult for you to choose the MPs you really want in Parliament. GRCs were first introduced because the PAP claimed that they were needed to ensure minority representation. Then, GRCs were expanded, supposedly to take advantage of economies of scale in running town councils. But they are actually being used to bring in candidates to Parliament under the protection of a minister. your voice. The PAP also introduced nominated members of parliament to put different voices into parliament. But nominated MPs are not elected by you. They are selected by a committee nominated by the ruling party. And most sadly, the PAP had threatened you that voting for opposition would put you at the end of the queue for estate. We recommend in our manifesto that both GRCs and nominated MPs should be abolished. And if the Workers' Party ever comes into power, we would abolish both schemes even though they would favor us. Second, we differ from the PAP because we believe that Parliament must have a strong opposition entrenched in it. The PAP thinks it's perfectly fine for one party to occupy all the seats. In 2011, we said that Singapore should move towards a first world parliament. That call is still relevant today. We only had 7 out of the 87 seats in the last parliament, less than 10%. A strong opposition provides much needed competition and can challenge the ruling party when it is in the best interest of the people to do so. Numbers count. The PAP tells us that their backbenchers raise issues and criticize the government. They claim that they can check themselves. But is that believable? The PAP tells us that their backbenchers can be a check, but can they truly be a check? They are called backbenchers for a reason. It is the PAP ministers sitting in the front who make the policy. Even if the PAP MPs speak up, can they vote when their party leaders decide on something? No! Letting them check themselves is giving them a blank check. It is not enough to check the government by having voices in parliament. To protect Singaporeans, you must also check the government with votes. Third, the Workers' Party differs from the PAP because we do not think that the government should infiltrate every aspect of life. The PAP obviously thinks they should control everything. The PAP places government representatives in all areas of Singapore life, including sports, business, and professional groups. The PAP wants Singaporeans to be dependent on them. But there is more than enough talent in the private sector to drive things. In fact, Singapore may be able to achieve better results if the PAP would get out of certain areas. Let's take sports. Since we are in JALAN BESAR GRC, let's talk about football. In the early days of Singapore's nationhood, the Singapore football team was a force to be reckoned with on the international stage. Can you imagine that in 1966, Singapore was 4th in the Asian Games, behind only Burma, Iran, and Japan? 4th in the whole of Asia, not just Southeast Asia. In the 1970s, the whole nation was riveted behind our boys in blue in their quest to win the Malaysia Cup. Everyone had football fever, not just the soccer fans, but even grandmothers and housewives too. I remember as a young child, diligently cutting out newspaper articles and pictures of our footballers and keeping my own scrapbook. We fought so hard and mightily and had bitter disappointments. But finally, in 1977, Singapore beat Penang 3-2 to become Malaysia Cup champions. And I am so proud that the man who headed in the winning goal is here with us tonight as my personal driver. In those days, the Football Association of Singapore was headed by people who were not politicians. They were passionate about the game and relied on their own networks to bring in coaches and technical expertise achieve their dreams. Where is Singapore soccer today? According to the rankings by football's world governing body FIFA, Singapore dropped from number 70 in the world in 1993 to a new low this year of 157 in the world. We are classified by FIFA as one of the worst movers down the rankings. What went wrong? The FAS Constitution now states that all council members shall first be appointed by a cabinet minister before being confirmed by an election. For the last 20 years, the minister decided to place a PAP MP in charge of the Football Association. Looking at how our rankings have nosedived over the last 20 years, is this policy working? The sports minister should be committing harakiri. Belittling the efforts of our current footballers or their coaches. It is the structure I'm questioning. And now FIFA has been critically looking at the structure of the FAS as it believes officials of football associations should be freely elected. Just 2 days ago, on September 1st, FIFA told our FAS to put their internal elections on hold over possible government interference. It is embarrassing that it takes an international body to highlight a problem that has been simmering for so long. It is time for Singaporeans to take charge of what we care about. Let our passion take us to greatness. We have done it before, and we can do it again. My friends, power has made the PAP more and more arrogant. They think they can tell us who should represent us, not just in parliament, but also in sports and even in business groups and the professions. They want to control every aspect of our life. If we become totally dependent on the PAP, how can Singapore be a dynamic nation? This election, we must bring the power back to the people. Send a strong message to the PAP that Singaporeans want to be free from their arrogance, their control, and their threats. Empower your future. On 11th September, vote for the Workers' Party.
Our final speaker for tonight is our Secretary General, Mr. Khiang. 7号的演讲者是我们工人党秘书长刘成强先生。
Dear voters and friends, in 2011, you answered the call of the Workers' Party to steer Singapore towards a first world parliament. You gave us your vote of confidence and encouraged us to forge ahead with our vision to create a better Singapore. The past 4 years have not been easy. But it has never been easy being in Singapore politics, especially if you have different views and take a different stand on the PAP. Despite the challenges and obstacles, the Workers' Party's MPs continue to focus on our duty to articulate your views and represent you in Parliament to check the government. We have supported policies that benefit the people, such as the Pioneer Generation package, and spoke up against policies that affect you, such as the population-wide waiver. We make sure that your voices are heard, even though there are only 7 elected Workers' Party MPs out of 87 MPs. I am satisfied with the performance of the Workers' Party in Parliament. We have not disrupted the workings of government and have upheld the dignity of Parliament. We have fulfilled our promise to be a rational, respectable, and responsible party. Against all odds, we have also emerged stronger as a team and are determined to continue working towards a better Singapore. Yes, Singapore has prospered, and the lives of Singaporeans have improved materially in the past 50 years. But in the process, there were also policy trade-offs and sacrifices made by our people. As we celebrate 50 years of independence, we should look at Singapore now and consider, where do we go from here? For many years, the PAP has defined and interpreted what is the national interest and what is in the best interest of the people. They have also decided on policies unilaterally as the government with huge majority in Parliament. Being in power for so long, the PAP equates Singapore to the PAP government and the PAP government to the PAP. Because of this mindset, they paint the opposition and critics as troublemakers and rebels. We must stop the PAP from becoming more self-absorbed. You must retain a say in how Singapore is run by having people of your choice representing your voice in the Parliament. We must remind the PAP that there is a distinction between what is national interest and what is the PAP's party interest. Workers' Party supporters are as loyal to Singapore as any supporter of the PAP. Do not let the PAP monopolize the narrative. Before we had social media, the mainstream media acted as a mouthpiece of the PAP and was the only source of information. Now, with competition, people have more means to find out the facts and truth. With education, people can analyze and see issues on their own. We need a system that promotes such progress in society. The past is our mirror. The present is our reflection. And the future is in our hands to make. We must not let the PAP decide our future according to their whims and fancies any longer. We must remind the PAP that Singapore is a nation, not a corporation. We must hammer home the message that the people are the masters of Singapore. Dear fellow Singaporeans, this election is a landmark election. After 50 years of independence, and we are celebrating our golden jubilee, I urge you to vote for the Workers' Party. So that you, me, each and every one of us here, the people of Singapore, can collectively decide on the direction and forge our future together. Empower your future! Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, see you tomorrow night at Yishun Stadium. The rally is come to a close tonight. 我们今晚的群众大会就到此结束。谢谢大家，明晚我们在艺术见面。Thank you。
Thank you for attending the rally tonight. We are the Workers' Party. Hope that you will disperse peacefully and quietly. And can I ask you a favor? Please pick up the litter and clear on your way out. Okay, I wish you a safe journey back. 谢谢大家来参加我们今天的群众大会，请大家如果地下有什么垃圾的话，请不要丢在地下，可以捡起来在垃圾桶丢。谢谢谢谢大家，祝大家平安晚安。
This is Happy TV at Jalan BESAR. As you can see, the Workers' Party rally has just ended. But stay tuned with us. We'll be talking to some people to get a view of the ground. Come, let's go. Hello, I'm from Happy TV from online media. Hello, I'm from online media from Happy TV. You give some comments for the rally. Hi, sir. Hello. Hi, I'm from Happy TV. We do the online media. Yeah. Online media. I want to get some quick comments for you. How do you feel about the rally?
That's great, very rally.
Why do you think the rally was great?
I think it's a little bit smaller than the others, like typically, but
I think it gave people a chance to meet the candidates that don't normally get to speak.
Okay.
So it's nice to get the viewpoints of the other people.
So among the new candidates, I mean, any of them caught your attention?
Yeah. So I think Png Eng is pretty good. I think Leon is obviously a very outstanding individual. I think among the others, they also are, they all have different strengths, right? They have different backgrounds, different kind of life experiences that help them bring different kind of viewpoints to the table. Yeah, that's good.
You know, Workers' Party has brought up quite a few issues over the past few days, like cost of living, immigration, and maybe diversity in Parliament. Which of these issues are most important to you?
To me, I think it's the most fundamental issue is the structure of the power in the country, right? So the structural issue, the third issue you mentioned.
Okay.
The fact that power is being concentrated tends to lead to adverse effects.
Okay.
So to me, that is the most important issue, and I think every other issue is a follow-on from that.
Okay, so which GRC are you in?
Marine Parade.
Marine Parade. So have you decided who to vote for?
I think it's pretty obvious.
Pretty obvious. Okay, thank you very
Thank you.
much. Let's try to talk to more people. Hello, uncle，你讲英语吗？我是网上媒体，可以跟你问你是自己做的吗？这个
对啊，安迪做的，
安迪做的啊，那你花多少时间做？
花的1个钟多2个钟这样。
1个钟多2个钟啊，这边有很多旗啊，你买几个旗？
买20个
，20个旗。你每个 rally 都会来吗？
时常昨晚是有来了。
为什么你会支持工人党呢？
没有啦，觉得不错啦，可以啦，因为为新加坡嘛为人民嘛这样咯。
这选民有哪些你比较喜欢的吗？
喜欢的。
全部都喜欢的。
当然，什么一样的，大家什么国家都是一样。
好。
为人民好。
住哪里啊？
后港。看到吗？拍。看到吗？
谢谢啊。
看到吗？谢谢。
是哦，他不会讲。You can hear huge chants in the background. People are cheering the Workers' Party candidate as they leave the rally ground.
Very good.
What do you like about the rally today?
I love the speech. I love the vision and power for our future.
Which speech you like the most? Make the biggest impression on you?
The most actually all I like.
You know, like just now, Workers' Party has raised quite a few issues, rising cost of living, immigration, and the need for more diversity in Parliament. I mean, any of these issues, which are the most important issues for you?
Actually, the CPF lah.
CPF?
Yeah, we need our CPF. It's our money, not their money.
You want probably more control over your...
Yes, correct. It's not their money, it's our money. The citizen money.
You're a resident of which GRC?
I moved to Sengkang, but I'm still under East Coast.
On the East Coast?
Yes.
Okay, so have you made up your decision about who to vote?
Yes, correct.
You know the time?
Anywhere I go is opposition.
Okay.
Hardcore opposition. Doesn't mean it's a worker party. It's hardcore opposition.
You know, the TAP and WP have been talking about a town council over the past few days, a few years. In fact, I mean, is this going to be a factor, any bearing on who you're going to vote for?
No. It's obviously something that they make it up, you know, as they said, to fix the opposition.
Will you be attending all the rallies for this whole?
I will attend whichever that is easy for me.
Okay.
Come, Matia.
Okay, thank you.
One more picture with him. No, come.
No. You have to go on. Okay, thank you.
Mari sini, come. Ba, come. Come. Hola.
I think
come.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, this is actually a video.
Huh?
Video. Yeah.
Come.
Also,
Alright, thank you very much.
Hello，我是online media 啦，网上媒体，可以问你一些问题吗？不要。哇，谢谢。哇，多人在问。
我那个是有。
Hi, this is not online media. Just want to get something how you feel about the rally. Yeah, feel free to ask. Sure. Okay, I mean, how do you feel about the rally today?
I think it's great.
Great, okay. What do you like about the rally?
Well, I guess that first of all, to see everybody peaceful down there, happy, no disturbance, no nothing. People are interested to know what is going to be happening to them in future. I think it's great for Singapore future.
You know, the Workers' Party has raised quite a few issues over the past few days, like cost of living, immigration,
Yes.
everything. Any of these issues are the most important?
Well, I guess, again, the slogan is very good, empowering your future, in the sense that, there's a lot of questions being asked about his mishaps, the lacking in infrastructures and stuff like that. So I think getting transparency is definitely something which I think all of us like to know.
Okay. Speaking about transparency, I mean, are you satisfied with the WP's explanation about the town council, what happened to the town council?
Well, I'm not sure whether they got an answer, but the thing is that there is at least somebody asking the questions, rather than nobody asking the questions, and then we are told that everything is good and dandy. So.
What is the town council issue when it comes to voting for?
I don't understand about that part, because at the end of the day, we are voting for a member to go to the parliament to represent the people. Why are we turning it into to be a state manager? So perhaps in that case, then perhaps we should start the election for a state manager. I think that'll be easier.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, sure.
Hi, we're actually from the online media. It's called Happy TV, so we're just going around getting reactions on the ground. So do you mind giving some comment about how you feel about the rally?
I'm okay.
Okay. Just for you, I mean, how do you find the rally?
Quite interesting. Yeah.
Quite interesting. Is this the first time at a election rally?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, currently, when you listen to the speeches, any issues resonated with you?
Well, very local issues, so not so involved. Yeah, but I guess it touches a lot of people's emotions and everything. So it's good. Yeah.
Okay, will you be attending all the rallies, or just today?
Trying to attend every party's rally.
Oh, okay. Why the interest in all the party rallies?
It's very different from where I'm from.
Oh, okay. So where are you from?
Germany.
Germany. Okay, welcome to Singapore. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you are interested in all the parties, right? Actually, we are doing live events for most of the rallies, so you can take a look at the website.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Hey, hi. Actually, sorry. Hey, hi. We're actually from the online media.
Sorry,
Okay, sure, no problem. Hey. Excuse me.
No, they are moving here, right?
Okay.
Lighting is very bad.
Okay. We'll talk to a few more people before signing off. Hello, you're from the online media? Alright. All the computer they take. Hey, hello, you're from the online media, it's called Happy TV, independent media. So, just want to get some quick comments. Happy TV.
Happy TV, I never see you before.
Yeah, we are new. We are new.
Ah, you're new.
Yeah.
Hey, don't put me a face on the internet. Don't put me on.
I mean, any of you are you comfortable?
No. Don't put me on a face.
Yeah.
I will not be happy.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, but I can talk to you like that.
Hey, hello. We're from the online media actually.
No, it's okay.
Okay. People are still quite shy. Hi, I'm from the online media. Quite happy. Just getting some reactions on the ground, like talk to people how they feel about the rally.
Okay.
Yeah, just some quick comments. So how do you feel about the rally today?
I thought because I attended the rally in 2011, I felt the mood was still very boisterous, was less toned down, but maybe granted that maybe 2011 was towards the end of the campaigning period, so I felt that today one was a bit less toned down.
So you're a resident of which place?
JALAN BESAR.
JALAN BESAR. So I mean, any of the issues they raised today that resonate with you?
I think it's like what they say, it's always a case of local and national issues. I think the saga over the Town Council Act, both sides are giving their own positions, but there's a lot of information going to and fro. That sometimes for me as a reader, I find it hard to also decipher which is actually the right one.
Okay, so right now, I mean, I think we have not decided who.
I have not decided yet.
So how important is the Town Council when it comes to voting for the elections? Because it's a local issue.
It's a matter of concern, but it will not. But it's not the determining factor. It's one of many other factors that I will consider also.
Among the national issues that are raised, like cost of living and immigration and diversity in Parliament, any of these are most important?
I think it's the need to balance between to allow for Singapore to be able to move fast, because that so the government to be able to move fast, and first balance it with the need to have a more consensus and to gather feedback. So I think got balance that the need for speed versus need for consensus. So that to me is the important consideration for me as we go to the next 50 years.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks. Thanks.
Okay, we just try to find one more person. Sorry, hello. Actually from the online media called Happy TV. Just want to get some comments on how you feel about the rally. Okay, sure.
I actually just came.
Just came really.
I was watching the live stream lah.
Oh.
So I just came. So can you check with them?
Oh, okay. So you're watching the live stream just now?
Yeah.
Okay, so any of the issues they raised, which one of them resonate with you?
Actually not really. I just take it as on a neutral ground.
Neutral ground.
Yep.
Okay. And I mean, every citizen, every election, they have one issue that sticks out and they're really concerned about it, regardless of what party they support. I mean, are you concerned about the cost of living? Okay. You're a resident of which area?
Over here.
Over JALAN BESAR.
It's correct. I just stay behind.
Oh, you just stay behind. So you just came to walk away.
Correct. I was watching a live stream like then I saw the crowd building up, so I just walked over.
Will you be attending any other rallies?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Maybe the Whampoa one while I just walk over.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all.
So have you decided who you want to vote for? Or still thinking about it?
Still thinking, but yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, a lot of people are talking about the town council issue. So how much is that a factor when it comes to voting? Is that very, very important to you?
Council? What kind of, you mean in the
basically, people are saying that, PAP was saying that the Workers' Party has not run the town council well financially. So they're taking an issue with that. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, I think on their part, I kind of feel that just taking over, they're doing not too bad.
Okay, sure. Hey, thank you very much.
That's the kind of what I'm doing. We're actually doing a live event for most of the rallies, so if you want to go live, say you want to go down
As in the live stream. Yeah, just I was watching the live stream from Straits Times on YouTube.
Okay, thank you.
But we're not doing for Straits Times, we're doing for this.
Alright. You might want to. Okay.
Okay, this is Happy TV. Thanks for tuning in. We are ending the broadcast for tonight. See you tomorrow.